The large pool had a notice sent by the manager announcing that it would be closed for an extended period during the holiday. A girl named Bree leaves her engagement ring in her bag while she continues her swimming training. Her sister, Jonna, arrives after being released from drug rehab and joins her at the pool. Meanwhile, a cleaner named Clara is caught stealing money from the locker room, and the manager sees her. This is the third time the manager has caught her stealing. So he tells her she is fired and must clean the pool before leaving. Since the pool is about to close, the manager makes everyone leave. Bree starts packing her bags to leave, but realizes her engagement ring is missing. Jonna notices that the ring is at the bottom of the pool. Bree dives in to retrieve the ring, but it's stuck, and she can't get it out. Her sister, Jonna, dives in to help her, but they're unsuccessful. The manager glances at the pool to see if anyone is still there, but he doesn't see anyone because the sisters are at the bottom of the pool. The manager then closes the pool from the control panel. The sisters realize what's happening and try to get out quickly, but they are locked in. They try to break the lock, but it's made of strong fiberglass. Jonna gets frustrated and says they shouldn't be risking their lives just for a ring. Bree responds that she wanted to get the ring because she holds a grudge against her sister for being engaged. They find a small opening, but it's too narrow for even their hands to fit through. Jonna admits that she's jealous of Bree's life, as she's been in rehab while Bree's life seems perfect, and she's getting married soon. Bree then realizes that her sister was the one who threw the ring into the pool. They start arguing, and Bree dives down to retrieve the ring, finally managing to get it out. The sisters agree to stop fighting and try to find a way to call for help. Bree attempts to remove the metal cover to break the lock with it, but it's extremely heavy and hard to move. As evening comes, the lights in the pool turn off. David, Bree's fiancé, keeps calling her phone for hours, but it's in her bag, so she can't answer. Jonna mocks him for calling for so long instead of coming to search for them. Jonna says that she never trusted him, which causes tension between the sisters again. But suddenly, Bree gets a terrible headache and tells her sister that she has had diabetes for 3 years and never told anyone about it. She warns Jonna that if she doesn't take her insulin shot, which is in her bag, she'll go into a diabetic coma. They both figure out that they can widen the opening in the cover using a piece of plastic. Jonna asks her sister why she distanced herself from the family, and Bree reveals that their father was an abusive alcoholic and drug addict. She says she set the house on fire, and their father died in the blaze. Suddenly, they hear someone opening the door, but it's Clara. She notices the 2 girls are trapped and realizes the security cameras are on, so she turns them off. Clara steals Bree's bag, taking her phone, money, and credit card. The sisters think Clara will help them, but she asks for the credit card's PIN. They are shocked and ask why she isn't saving them. Clara explains her past in prison, her children, and her debts. When the sisters refuse to give her the PIN, Clara turns off the pool's water heaters. Bree, desperate, finally gives her the PIN in exchange for their rescue. However, Clara leaves and tells them she will return after withdrawing the money from the ATM. The sisters have no choice but to wait for her return. Bree's condition worsens due to the cold water after the heaters were turned off. Jonna dives in to try and lift the cover, but fails. She returns to the surface, blaming herself for being a coward and useless. The sisters hug each other to keep warm through body heat as they stay in the pool all night. The next morning, Clara returns and mocks the sisters. Jonna tries to control her anger and asks Clara to get Bree's insulin shot from her bag. But Clara is annoyed because the money on the card was only $80, and she threatens to leave them to die for trying to deceive her. Jonna decides to punish Clara for what she's done. She pretends to cry and asks Clara to come closer to the opening in the pool cover. Clara approaches the opening, thinking Jonna wants something, and suddenly, Jonna stabs Clara in the ear with a plastic piece. Clara screams in pain and goes to tend to her wound, cleaning it and stopping the bleeding. To get revenge, Clara turns on the automatic pool cleaner, causing the 2 sisters to struggle as they choke on the chlorine. Unable to breathe, they scream and beg Clara for help. Realizing the danger, Clara eventually turns off the cleaner. She approaches them and says she has nothing to lose and isn't afraid. Wanting to punish them for what they did, she demands Bree's diamond engagement ring. Exhausted from everything, Bree hands over the ring. Clara takes it and leaves the pool, abandoning them. Jonna starts crying, blaming herself for everything, but her sister forgives her. After hours pass, Bree begins to hallucinate and sees the pool's lock finally open as David, her fiancé, arrives to rescue her. However, she notices her sister is no longer with her and has vanished in the pool. Bree snaps out of her hallucination only to find Jonna holding the plastic piece, seemingly ready to end her own life. Jonna tries to kill herself by stabbing her neck, but Bree stops her and reassures her, telling her to have faith that they will get out of the pool alive together. Meanwhile, Clara is trying on Bree's engagement ring when David calls Bree's phone. Clara listens to the voicemail and learns that David is going to contact the police since Bree hasn't returned home. Clara panics, fearing she'll be sent back to prison, and heads back to the pool. There, she tells the sisters that they must promise not to tell the police what she did to them, or she will leave them trapped. The sisters agree, of course, and hug each other in relief. Clara decides to go and unlock the pool. She heads to the control room, but she discovers that the security code she knew has been changed. Frustrated, Clara returns to the sisters and tells them that she's tired of everything and doesn't know what to do. She then leaves, abandoning them once again. Time passes, and it becomes their second night in the pool. Bree begins to fall into a diabetic coma, and Jonna desperately tries to save her. Bree tells Jonna that ever since the accident when she killed their father, she kept thinking about how she prevented him from escaping the fire and how she had always said she had killed the monster. Jonna dives again to try and lift the cover from the bottom of the pool. After several failed attempts, she takes Bree's towel, ties it to the cover, and finally manages to lift it. She rushes to her sister, but finds Bree unconscious, drowning in the water. Jonna performs CPR and successfully saves her sister. Using all her strength, Jonna lifts the cover, which finally breaks, and she carries Bree out of the pool. She gives Bree the insulin shot, terrified that her sister might die. Suddenly, Clara appears with a gun and threatens to kill them, fearing that if they stay alive, they'll report her to the police, sending her back to prison. But Clara lowers the gun, hands him the diamond ring, and feels guilty for what she's done. Jonna calls the police and an ambulance to rescue them, and she allows Clara to escape before the authorities arrive. Later, Bree regains consciousness on the stretcher, and Jonna gives her the ring. The two sisters hug each other, crying with joy that they survived. The paramedics lift the stretcher to take Bree to the hospital. And that's the end of the movie. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Goodbye.